cool. All right, we'll start in a few minutes. Okay, come on in and sit down, and we'll start in 2 minutes. Just giving people some time to join. Getting my notes together. Come on in and join us. One more minute. One more minute. About 30 seconds or so, and we'll start. Okay, so I have 10 o'clock. Well, good morning. This is AJ Farzad, and today we are going to discuss the science and behavior of success. And as an overview, I wanted to kind of show you this little triangle that gives us an overview of the attributes that help us succeed. So success is dependent on three major basic factors. The focus, which we are going to spend the bulk of our time today. Then we have effort. And lastly, we have attitude. Effort is the easiest. Focus is a little bit harder. And the hardest thing is attitude. And we all can agree that any two of these, if concentrated on with passion and strength, will get you to success. However, like I have put here, we will have to sacrifice something. So maybe you know of people that are workaholics, right? So they are extremely focused and they put a lot of effort in at the cost of maybe their family life. We know people that are very charismatic, right? So they have focus and they have a great attitude and they get other people to put in the effort. And they can also reach success, but, you know, at the cost of jealousy, envy, you know, sometimes betrayal, etc. So any two of these might get us to success, but when we have all three of these, the amount of resistance is minimized and success becomes a lot easier. So let me just change the angle of this thing so we can chat about this. All right, so as I said, My name is AJ Farzad. I have a website, ajfarzadloa.com. And I've been studying success since 2010. I'm a scientist by trade and a corporate trainer. So today what I'm going to do in this short time that we have together, about an hour or so, is to give you as much valuable information, practical information that I can to make you able to concentrate on the focus portion and get better and better success. But because this is only going to be an hour, I can't really spend detailed information about every aspect of what it takes to be successful. So I'm going to do my best to give you as much value as I can as a gratitude for coming in this morning and spending some time with me. But in the description of this Facebook Live, there is a link to a course that I'm going to be doing in June. It will be 3 weeks long. We will meet once a week and discuss everything that I'm telling you in more detail, practical lessons, etc. And then you will have a week to kind of digest it, email me, like office hour sort of things, have access to me, and then we come back and we go over more things. And that is very, very time intensive for me. So I can only allow 10 people in that course. And if you are interested, stay tuned. Later on, we'll tell you how you can get the discount, and that link also will take you to getting the tickets, etc., etc. So I just want to make sure that I'm covering everything here to give you as much value as possible. So we're going to go over the overview of what success is, how is success achieved. And I titled this The Science and Behavior of Success because there is actually a science and a certain type of behavior that allow us to be successful. You know, so hard success is not hard work by any means, right? When I was growing up, everybody told me, hey, you work hard, you go to school, and you're going to be successful. Well, that's not entirely true. Effort is part of that, but we all know people that have 2-3 jobs, and by no means, from the financial standpoint, are they successful. In fact, the people with multiple jobs are most of the time the least successful people. You know, so they are the ones that are barely, staying alive. Getting their, financial status in order. Success is also not specific to a religion, a local area around the world, a particular race, a socioeconomic level. It is not divine or ordained. You know, when you say, oh, that guy has the Midas touch, right? Everything he touches turns to gold. He must have been, blessed divinely. Because if that was the case, we would see it, right? People that are in a certain socioeconomic level would be successful. People that live in a certain area would be the only ones that would be successful. People of certain race would be only the ones that's successful. And that's not the case. Success is a wide spectrum. Anyone from any area can get and be successful. And it is by no means limited for you. Okay, so if anyone has told you that that is out of your reach, a big bullshit. Okay, so, and we'll go into that. We should acknowledge that we can only start from where we are right now. And I don't want you to feel bad or beat yourself up because of where you are right now based on things that have happened before. Because we can only start from where we are, and that's okay. Because people have succeeded from where they are in all ranges. You know, people have been at the bottom of the barrel and have succeeded, and there have been people that have been given millions of dollars and they have succeeded. So it's okay to start where we are. Okay, so again, as I was saying, I can't give you the specifics of everything in just this 1 hour, and that is why I have this 3-week course that you have the information in the descriptions, and it's on the events of this Facebook in June, you know, where we meet 3 times during the 3-week, and you have access to me during this whole time, so we can discuss, dialogue, go Q&A about why is it that some people follow certain recipes and they are frustrated? Why is it that some people will just succeed seemingly without any effort? And then why is there people that, you know, that in the middle? And again, if you are interested in that, you can sign up for that class because of the intensity of the time commitment. I will only allow 10 people in it for this session. But here, I will give you practical, actionable step onto one part of what it has to be. So if that's where you are, this webinar would be worth your time. Okay, so this world that we live in has certain rules, and they are called universal laws. Things like gravity, electricity, magnetism, you know, things like that. There are universal laws. And it is important to know that universal laws are not based on any religion, right? They are also not predicated on if you know about them or not. So, you know, just because you are not aware of a certain law doesn't mean that it does not affect you. More importantly, they don't care if you believe in them or not. And usually we learn them by experience as opposed to going to school. You know, so when we're a kid and we're like kind of experimenting and crawling off of the couch and we'll fall, we'll learn real quickly that if my hand can't reach the ground, probably not a good idea to continue going, right? That's practical gravity for you, right? Our parents will say, don't put the fork in the electric socket. You're going to die or you're going to get shocked, right? That's electricity practical lesson. You know, so just because I didn't go to gravity class today doesn't mean that when I step out, I'm going to float up. They're universal laws. They will either hamper you or help you to succeed. So imagine going back in time to the prehistoric man and showing him a magnet, right? He would think it's magic. He would think that, oh my God, you're like a deity and this is like a magical thing. What is this, right? Because he was not aware of that. And one of the universal laws that either very few people are aware of or they choose to ignore happens to be this law of attraction. And what I concentrate on specifically on the niche of sales, marketing, training, and finance is this science and behavior of success using this law of attraction. And again, I can't really go into huge detail about it because this is not a law of attraction seminar, but it is a huge part of that attitude component that we had discussed in the beginning. And again, it's something that we will in detail go through it in my 3-week course so you can see how you can utilize it to get a great sales, to make a huge, successful marketing plan, to have a wonderful training, basic practical applications, okay? But for the purpose of what we have here is, what is law of attraction is that you have a certain thought. That thought will lead to a certain feeling. And this universal law dictates that that feeling will bring in more opportunities for you to feel the same way until you change your thought. That's all it is. So whatever you're feeling will create opportunities to keep that feeling going. Now, most people, either because they're not aware of this or because they don't want to put the effort, remember I said the attitude was the hardest part, or they want to ignore it, go about utilizing by this law by default, right? If everything is going wonderful, we're feeling fantastic, we feel great. If a challenge comes up, we feel like crap, right? And that is a little bit unfortunate because in 2006 there was a book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, right? And it went all through what the law of attraction was. It was actually an explosion of information about it. But again, in our industry, in sales and science, people have ignored it. What they haven't ignored, though, is this book. At least I hope not. If you are a sales rep and you haven't read this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, you need to. Every library across the country has it, okay? And it's very, very cheap. So, in 1937, Napoleon Hill published this book, Think and Grow Rich. Basically, the study of 500 most successful people in the United States. But this book was based on his law of success. It was a correspondence course called The Laws of Success in 15 Lessons. This one was actually published in 1925. So almost 10 years earlier, he published The Laws of Success. And in The Laws of Success, in 1925, he made repeated actions, repeated mentions of the law of attraction. However, when he went to publish Think and Grow Rich in 1937, his publisher says, we can't use this. You can't put law of attraction in there because the salesmen of the time would not take it seriously. Oh yes, Diane. Good. Diane says she has this book. Excellent. Fantastic. Susan, hi. I'm glad you're watching. So the publishers did not allow him to put law of attraction in here. Nowhere in this book there is mention of the law of attraction. And yet, in the beginning of the book, it says somewhere within this book, the reader will find a magical ingredient. So, in 2006, Rhonda Byrne put out The Secret, right? And the information that she got was mostly based on Abraham Hicks publications. So she went on one of the Abraham Hicks cruises and got all of that information and put this in a hugely successful book and movie. However, in the latest version of The Secret, there's no mention of Abraham Hicks due to some legal issues, etc., etc. So, the question is, did Hill and Byrne lie to us? Right? Well, because in both cases, people have read this and been frustrated. People have obviously read the law of attraction and been frustrated. So did they lie to us about something? Diane says the Netflix is also on, The Secret is also on Netflix now. Correct. So did they lie to us? And I want to answer that question by giving you a Buddhist parable and let you decide, right? Because you guys are all educated and intelligent people and you can make your own decision, right? So there's this Buddhist parable about a very, very wealthy man that has this huge house filled with every kind of peepholes and animal, etc., right? But the house is very decrepit. And his kids are playing in this house with their toys. The house suddenly catches on fire. And the only way out of the house is through this narrow gateway, right? So the man comes and tells his kids that, hey, the house is on fire, you guys need to get out to save your lives, right? But the kids, being kids, running around playing, completely ignore him. They're so busy in their own thing right now that they continually play. So what the man has to do is use what's in Buddhism called expedient means. So he comes and tells them a story that, hey, if you guys go outside right now, I have 3 different carts filled with toys, jewels, valuable things. One is drawn by a goat, one is drawn by a deer, the last one is drawn by an oxen, right? And you can have it if you go out. So the kids run out looking for, where is the 3 carts that we can choose from? And once the kids are safe outside, the man gives all 3 of his children the best cart, the one drawn by oxen filled with jewel, right? So now, did the man lie to get his kids out of the house? Okay. So the expedient means is basically using whatever you can at the level of the audience. So using information based on what your audience can accept and utilize. Because in the end, you just want them to have that happy feeling and success, right? So in 1937, the expedient means was this book. Because if Hill had mentioned things about the law of attraction, they would have thought he's a lunatic. In 2006, maybe information about Abraham Hicks' publication, like Esther being a woman that channels a being, might not have really been productive into the sales of the secret. And when we actually get on my 3-week course, we will go deep into why is it that some people have such frustration making the law of attraction work. What is it about that missing ingredient in Think and Grow Rich that some people get it, some people don't. But what we can agree about as far as having success is that you need a focus. And that's the bulk of our discussion today. If you're driving from New York to San Diego, even in this day of GPSs, you don't jump in a car and just drive, right? Haphazardly. You have some kind of a map, some kind of like a GPS program, a goal of where you're going, right? Because I'm sure you can agree that if you have a ship in a harbor without a captain and no, goal of where it's going, it will rarely even get out of the harbor, let alone survive on the high seas. And the other thing is that when you're driving 3 or 4 days across the country, in the middle of the country, you don't say, well, we've been driving for 3 to 4 days and I don't see San Diego. So San Diego must be a myth, right? It's an imagined place. It's not possible. Or San Diego is only meant for those special people. It's not for me, right? You don't say that. You know that as if you continue going on your goal, you will get to San Diego. You may change your path, right? Maybe you want to get a beef jerky at this thing. So you go out and your GPS will say, hey, follow this course, right? But you don't change the goal, San Diego. And goal setting is extremely important. And again, here I can only give you a cursory view, the best I can for you to use and be successful. You can, based on the information I'm going to give you today, you can be perfectly successful. But if you want to learn more about it and how to do it consistently, then that 3-week course is where we can go about. I'm sure you guys all have heard about goals, right? In sales classes, I have heard many different things about goals. Things like SMART goal, right? SMART, SMART goal, things like that.